I thought we would, if you've got a chair handy, just nearby, or if you've got, wherever you are, just something, or a sofa or something that you can kind of lean on later on when we go into balances. So we're going to start off on the floor, just coming down onto your mat, and we're just starting all fours, just kind of get a feeling of connection to the ground. That's kind of all we're going to, I suppose that's the theme of the class really, is that idea of having a sense of stability, connection, and sometimes within yoga it's called grounding, so that idea of being grounded. So if you come into all fours, sort of taking your time to get down, and just kind of having that sense of noticing how your knees feel, and noticing how your hands and your wrists feel, because they change day by day, minute by minute even. And just rock a little bit from side to side, rock through the hips. And you can lift up one hand at a time, and then just gently kind of placing it down. And then see if you can do the same thing with your knees. Can you lift up one knee at a time, one hand at a time? So you're just kind of testing your balance as well. So obviously you have to slow it down a little bit. So if you just join in, take your time, and we're just in all fours, and we're rocking from side to side, and you're just seeing if you can lift up one knee at a time. If anything, and one hand at a time. If anything like me, you kind of notice that you start doing the same arm or same hand as knee. See if you can do, I don't know, is it possible, can you do the opposite? Hand and knee. It takes me a lot of concentration to do anything that isn't the same. So just kind of resting and easing into those kind of movements, and then we'll just see what it feels like. Now, if you bring both hands to rest on the floor, both knees connected to the floor, and we'll just do a few little cat stretches. So draw the chin in and arch the spine upwards, arching the spine, and then just taking your gaze forward, and maybe sinking between the shoulders and sinking at the back of the waist. So when you draw the gaze in, kind of arching the spine, rounding the spine, and then just taking your gaze forward, sinking between the shoulders, sinking at the back of the waist, and just having a sense or a feeling of how that is in your body. So we can be tight around the shoulders, we can be tight in the hips, we can find discomfort anywhere in the body, and when we slow ourselves down, that's when we start to notice, which is why it's a lot easier to do things quickly. And then when you're ready, coming to sort of a neutral position, so your gaze is down between your hands. Tuck your toes under, if it's possible, so you tuck the toes under. So we lengthen the soles of the feet. Gradually ease the hips back a little bit towards the heels. Take the crown of the head forward a little bit past the fingers. So easing the hips back, and maybe going a little bit further back each time, maybe going a little bit further forward. But whatever you're doing, just really easing into the feet, because feet can be tight. Toes don't get a lot of life really. What's a funny thing to say? Toes don't get a lot of exercise, I should say. Just easing backwards and forwards. And then just see, is it possible to tuck the toes the other way? So you're on the tops of the toes. So this will lengthen the front parts of the feet and the fronts of the ankles. So if you just join, just take your time. Just easing the hips back a little bit, then sending the crown of the head forward a little bit. Just easing into the feet. And maybe you can take the hips back a little bit further, or the crown of the head forward a little bit more. But obviously there's no, you're not competing with anyone or anything. You're just doing what feels right for you. And then when you're ready, just stop. Just release the toes. Maybe give them a biggle wiggle. Maybe just tap the fronts of the feet on the floor. Just wake them up a little bit. And then stop, and then just rock the hips from side to side, and just feeling that sort of echoing through the knees and through the wrists as well. So just kind of using that to wake up those parts of the body. And then when you're ready, just stop, and we're just going to come over to sit. So just in case you're just joining a little bit late, we're going to work with a chair as well today. So if there's anything, it can be a sofa or even the wall. Just kind of being aware later on. So we're just sitting in with the legs in front. Just give your knees a bit of a rub, just kind of transitioning sort of easy. We're going to come to stand in a minute. And maybe just twisting the spine one way and then the other way, just kind of having a sense of how that feels in your body. Because sitting on the floor, it's not the easiest thing in the world. And then when you're ready, ever so carefully take your time, just come to stand. So I'll just adjust the screen a little bit. So, right. So if you do have a chair or anything sort of handy, or like I say, if you buy a wall, that's just as good as well. So as long as you can touch something, we're going to work into balances. So first of all, if you look at your feet, the feet are at least a width apart. And obviously when we come to stand on one leg, it's the standing foot, the standing leg that takes that weight. So we're going to work at strengthening our feet. So first of all, focus your gaze. Going to lift up your heels as you come onto the balls of the feet. And then bring the heels down, lift up the toes. That sends the weight back. Bring the toes down, lift up the heels. Bring the heels down, lift up the toes. So kind of notice as you're doing this that your spine or your body just orientates itself in relation to your feet. So whatever's going on with your feet will affect the rest of your body, obviously. So when you're ready, just stop. So now, if you roll onto the outside edges of your feet, so that will lift your arches. That will also, if you look down at what's happening, your knees turn out. So if you have a habit of just having an overlifted arch, then you're going to shorten the outside tendons of the knee, lengthen the inner tendons, so it destabilises the knee. So now roll onto the inside edges of the feet, so that will collapse your arches. So obviously we're emphasising some things that we have habits of doing anyway. So you roll onto the inside edges of the feet, notice your knees turn in, so that will shorten the inner edges or the inner tendons and ligaments of the knee and stretch the outer ligaments. So if you do have a tendency to drop the arch, you're destabilising the knees in that way. So now, if you look at your feet, wiggle the toes a little bit. You can move your hands as well, they often move anyway. So you've got the base of the big toe, base of the little toe and the heels in contact with the floor. That stabilises the knee joint, the ankle joints, the knee joints and the hip joints. Soften your knees and you're just going to twist the upper part of the spine from side to side, just having a little bit of a movement through the upper part of the body and really having that sense as you move the upper part of your spine, notice how your feet respond. Soften your knees, we don't want to twist through the knees can be quite soft, and then just come back to centre and now taking the arms forward and back. I've just turned because the wall's behind me. So keep the knees quite soft and maybe as you take the arms forward and back, you can bend the spine a little bit, look down. As you take the arms up, you can look up. Just kind of working or connecting the movement of your spine and your gaze with the movement of the arms. And you're not just mindlessly flinging the arms around, you're feeling that connection of the arms through the shoulders to the spine, all the way down through to the feet. And then when you're ready, stop to centre. So we're going to place the hands, right hand on top of the left hand. Let the hand just rest on the shoulder, so at the chest. And really allow your arms to be heavy. Allow the arms to be heavy. So you can lift the elbows up and down, you can move the shoulders. Have a sense of the weight of the arms. Then if it's okay, taking the left hand on the right shoulder, right hand on the left. So the right forearm or wrist is on top. Twist a little bit from side to side again. Move your head, make sure you can. Now if possible, come to centre, take the arms away, let the elbows be heavy. Bring the left elbow on top of the right elbow. At any given time you stop if this is too much. If it's okay, then the underneath arm, the right one that's underneath, see if you can turn the palm to come towards either the left arm or the wrist or the hand. Just kind of see where you are and then let go. Soften the knees, rock the arms from side to side. So obviously there's loads of stages to this, so you kind of go to where you can go and then come to centre, take the arms forward and back. Same kind of little movements that we did before. So we don't have to just force ourselves into any particular shape. And then when you're ready, just come to centre. Now the left hand goes on top of the right hand. Elbows, arms are heavy. Settle there for a few moments, feel your breath. And then when you're ready, creep the hands towards the shoulders. And obviously if this is enough, whenever you've had enough, you stop. Take the hands away. Now the right elbow, if possible, goes on top of the left elbow. The left hand, which is the one underneath, if you can bring that hand, maybe bring the fingertips towards your nose, and then you turn at the wrist to bring the left hand towards the right wrist or the arm or the hand. It goes, you know, your hands go to where they go, or you let them rest on your shoulders, and then you come out. Circle or move the shoulders around a little bit, move your head. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to do some working into a forward bend with our with the chair. So if you have a chair, or you can use the wall, you can have the hands on the wall or a sofa, whatever's kind of near you. So let me with that. So first of all, just bring the hands onto the seat of the chair, and if that's too low for you, obviously you can turn, you can have it kind of like that. You can just kind of use whatever feels right for you. So the hands are on the chair. Just walk the feet back a little bit, and you're pushing down into the chair. Don't push the chair away because you want to feel quite stable. So taking your attention again to your feet, lift up one heel at a time. And really, when the heels come down, when the feet come down, can you allow the weight of your body to rest down through the feet and also down through the hands? And then what we're going to do, we're going to turn the big toes in, soften the knees, feel the connection through the base of the big toes, the little toes, as well as the heels, and let your weight rest down through the arms to the hands, rest down through the hips, through the knees, to the ankles, to the feet. Base of the big toes, little toes and heels. And you can close your eyes if you like, and just feeling that stable base beneath, connecting to the ground. And then when you're ready, bring the feet so they're facing forward, bend your knees, and then bring the right foot over the top and on the outside of the left foot. So both knees can be quite bent, right knee on top. So again, see if you can feel the base of the big toes, little toes and heels. Rest down through the heels, rest down through the base of the toes. Let go of the weight of the shoulders, so let the weight of the shoulders rest into the hands. Let the weight of the hips rest into the feet. Feel your breath, make sure you're breathing. And then when you're ready, swap over. So the left foot goes around the outside of the right foot. You can bend the knees. If possible, just kind of see, can you take the feet a little bit further away? So, just kind of be careful with yourself. Building awareness is what we're looking to do with these, to find that connection with the floor. When we find a strong, easy connection with the floor beneath, then muscles start to rest. And muscles start to relax of their own volition without being told. So the base of the big toes, little toes and heels and knees are quite soft. Let the weight rest down through the feet. Let the weight rest down through the hands. Feel your breath in your body, particularly in the back of your body. Close your eyes and feel the sensations in the legs, the backs of the knees, underneath the arms and around the shoulders. And you can, if you like, you can let go of your head. So really have that sense of releasing the neck, because necks and heads are so, they hold so much tension. Jaws hold so much tension. You move your jaw. And then when you're ready, uncross. Then this time, final kind of little movement with the ankles. Turn the feet out. So the knees turn out. Soften the knees. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider, a little bit further away. You might be able to do that. But be careful. And then we've got the base of the big toes, base of the little toes and the heels resting down into the floor. Soften the knees. Let the weight of the head go. Let the weight rest down through the arms. Feel your breath. And then carefully bring the feet so they're facing forward. Knees are quite soft. Take your attention to the back of the waist. Imagine the back of the waist being drawn up. Can you bend the elbows? You go a little bit closer towards the floor. Can you let go, but the hands are still resting on the chair, so you ease into it. Let go of the weight of your head. So really let go of the muscles of the neck. And imagine, because they do, the neck extends all the way through back to the centre of the spine. So when the head lets go, you're releasing the spine. And then see, is it possible just to bring your hands on the floor. If it's not impossible, you keep your hands on the chair. Find the heels. Maybe you can lift up one heel at a time or bend one knee at a time. Find the base of the toes, base the big toe, little toe and heels. You might be on the fingertips or you might be able to bring the palms down, but just really having that sense that you're lengthening your spine. The hands only come down because your spine has lengthened. The spine is only lengthened because you release the muscles through the legs, through the hips, but ultimately through the feet. And then when you're ready, walk the hands or bring the hands back onto the chair. You can walk the feet in and you can bring yourself up to stand. Right, well done. So you come up to stand, so just orientate yourself, be careful. So the feet, again, at least hip width apart, have that sense of stable base. So you're going to work into a balance. So if you, I'm just going to turn the chair because I'll sort of have my hand resting on the back of the chair, but if you use the wall or something else that's around you that might be handy. Right, so one hand resting on the chair, feet are at least hip width apart. Then all we're going to do, we're going to bring up the right heel. Now feel the weight of your body rest down into the left side. Soften that left knee, soften the left knee. And then we're just going to send the right foot forward and behind. So just kind of easing into the knee, circling at first, and then sending the knee forward and back, forward and back. Just kind of having that sense of mobilising through the hip. And then when you're ready, stop, bring the foot down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Let the weight rest down into the right foot. Bring up the left heel. You feel the weight transfer down into the right foot. And then you just circle the foot forward, round and behind. So you can feel the weight transferring or shifting through that standing foot, but also you're mobilising the hip, the left hip. And your hand can be resting on the chair, or you might want to experiment, can you take the hand away? And then see, take the leg forward and back. And notice how the rest of your body responds to that movement of your leg. And then when you're ready, the leg comes down. So we're going to go into tree pose. So your hand can be resting on the back of the chair or whatever you've got handy. Then you lift up the right heel. We can circle the leg round a few times. The foot might come off the floor. You've got a light kind of connection with the hand on the chair. Then the next time, the right knee goes out to the right. Bring the right heel towards just above the left ankle. Just rest there for a few moments. If you place your right hand on that right thigh, or unless your right hand's resting on the chair, just kind of see where you are. Imagine there's a hand on your right thigh, and underneath that hand, ease the thigh up to bring the heel a little bit higher, to below the knee or above the knee, or you can use a hand to ease the foot a little bit higher. Just kind of see where you are. Soften the standing leg. You feel the weight rest down into that left foot. Remember, you've got one hand resting on the chair. Just kind of see how that feels, and only if it feels okay, maybe take that hand off. Just kind of see where you are. Maybe you can take the hands on the top of the head. So allow the top of the head to rest down towards the heel that's below. Make sure you're breathing, and then when you're ready, you come out. So when the foot comes down, feel that connection of the foot resting into the floor. And we do the same on the other side. So the left heel comes off at first. You can keep the toes in contact with the floor, left toes, and just move the knee from side to side. So we're just trying to find ease of movement. You're not necessarily trying to make a shape or do anything spectacular. We're just trying to allow our body to feel easy, comfortable and movable. And then when you're ready, the next time the knee goes out to the left heel goes just above the right ankle. Stop there for a few moments. Maybe place one hand, whichever hand isn't on the chair, around the collarbones and past the chest. From inside underneath here, lift away from the floor. So you might feel something inside the belly start to lift. Then ever so carefully, imagine there's something on top of that left thigh and you're lifting the left thigh up so the heel goes below the knee or above the knee or wherever it goes. And the hand can still be resting on the chair, whichever it is. Just kind of see where you are. And maybe you can take the arms up. If you come out of it, it's fine. You just start again. You know, there's no problem. Coming out of it is just a way of going back in. And then when you're ready, we just come out. Let the feet rest on the floor. So settle onto the floor, connect to the floor. And then we're just going to do one more movement. So we're going to have the hands on the chair, or if if you're a wall or whatever you've got, sofa, back of the sofa. So the hand just resting there. So the right foot, we're just going to swing the right leg forward and back. I should swing maybe a bit too strong a word. Just moving forward and back. So when the leg goes back, you can allow the spine to move forward. When the leg goes forward, you can allow the spine to go back a little bit. So it's got that sense of little bit of momentum. And then soften the right knee, soften the right knee. Now the next time the right leg goes behind you, the spine goes forward slightly, can you bring the heel towards the hip? Can you take the right hand behind? When you lift the spine, can you just allow that right knee to drop towards the floor? If you can't catch your toes, take hold of your trousers or socks or something like that, and then let go. That's it, well done, didn't give you cramp. Shake off that leg. So then the hand resting on the back of the chair again, just swinging the leg forward and back, and you can move the spine in relation to the leg. So we're not trying to fracture the body, we're trying to bring it all together. Fragment, that's the word I'm looking for. We're not trying to fragment, we're trying to bring everything together. Now the next time the left leg goes behind, bend the knee, the left hand can just go behind, maybe catch hold of the toes or your trousers or socks or something, and then as the spine lifts, let the knee drop and then come out. Well done. If you can't catch hold of your toes or your trousers or something, don't hold it because it can give you cramp on the back. So we're just going to do it one more time. Give the legs a bit of a shake. And then, so right leg, we're just going to swing the right leg forward and back. Get a bit of movement. Then the next time the right leg goes back, feel the weight resting down into that left foot. Bend the right knee, so the spine is moving forward as well. The right hand can come behind. If you can turn maybe to look behind, sometimes that helps us find the toes or trousers. You can turn to look behind. Then when you bring the gaze forward again, remember you've got the chair, you're touching the chair. As the knee drops, the spine lifts. Now if you've caught hold of your foot and you kind of feel, oh, this is all right, maybe get your breath, find the connection down through that left foot. Then perhaps you can take that left hand off and just let the left hand come to rest on the top of your head. Don't have to do very much at all. And then let go. Well done. Right, last time on the other side. So you can start with the hand resting on the chair. Feel the ground or feel the earth beneath the feet. You have that sense of connection. And then again, just lift up the left foot. Just rock, move forward and back. Next time the left leg goes back, the spine goes forward. Take the left hand round. Try not to reach. Maybe if you've got your balance, you might be able to turn to look behind you to find that foot. Then when you bring the gaze forward and down, the spine lifts. You rest down through that standing foot, but from inside underneath the ribs, right through to the crown of the head, there's a feeling of coming up. If possible, see what it's like if you take the right hand off the chair and lift. But only kind of see where you are. Without you feel the weight resting down into the standing foot, you can bring the hand back onto the chair. You work in a way that feels doable for you. And then when you're ready, you bring the foot down and you just stop. Feet are at least hip width apart. Maybe give them a bit of a shake. And then we're just going to go back and try out that forward bend after doing all that. So you can use the seat of the chair again. So you're just a little bit further away from the chair, and then just bring your hands to rest on the seat. So obviously you just do what you feel you can do. So the feet can be a little bit wider. Sometimes we can do a little bit more when the feet are wider. Soften your knees, lift up one heel at a time. Now if you close your eyes, really allow the weight to rest down through the heels, the weight of your body to find the base of the toes. Soften your elbows. See, is it possible to bring your elbows down onto the chair or the seat of the chair? Just see if it's a possibility. Let go of the weight of your head. You might allow the crown of the head might come towards the chair as well, the seat of the chair. Imagine the space between your shoulders widening, and really let go of the weight of your head. and the weight of your spine. And you feel the breath. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, can you imagine the breath travelling down through the legs to the feet? Really allowing the feet to feel the ground beneath. And then see, is there a possibility, if you soften the knees slightly, by bringing one hand towards the floor, it might just be the fingertips, or it might go towards your knees, or you can keep the hand on the chair. One hand towards the floor, and then the other hand towards the floor. And let go of the weight of your head. Feel the base of the toes. Can you allow the heels to feel a little bit lighter? Can you imagine the backs of your knees lengthening? Can you walk the hands a little bit further forward to make space in the front of the hips? And really having that sense of the length of your spine from the tailbone all the way through to the base of the skull. And let go of the weight of your head. And then from here, just see, is there a possibility of just bending the knees, one knee down, then the other knee down, or you can use the chair to bring yourself down, and then just folding yourself into child's pose. So just see if there is that possibility. You can make light fists with the hand to support the head, or with the elbows wide, you may find that the forehead comes towards the floor. Just kind of see where you are. So there's no right or wrong. You're working with your body and you're building your awareness, and you're being present. You're here, and you're with your breath. And then only when you're ready, just turning to rest down onto the floor. So soles of your feet flat to the floor, knees are bent. Maybe taking the feet a little bit wider and placing the hands onto the belly, onto your abdomen. Elbows resting on the floor, shoulders are wide. And just allowing yourself to feel the connection you have with the floor beneath. So beginning or starting with the feet, feeling the base of your toes and the heels. And just carefully roll onto the outside edge of the right foot, the inside edge of the left foot. So knees go towards the right, just kind of sink. Then bring the knees back to centre, so you roll through the feet to bring them back to neutral. Then roll on the outside edge of the left foot, the inside edge of the right foot, so the knees go to the left. Notice your breath. And when you next breathe in, bring your knees back to centre. And as you breathe out, let your knees drop to the right. So being as careful, soft and fluid as you can. In breath comes back to centre. The out breath lets your knees drop to the left, and you can slow it down, you can breathe in between, take a few breaths with the knees dropping or in between. And then ultimately the in breath brings the knees back to centre, the out breath one way, and just go one more time each side. Taking your time, just a good way of just easing into the lower back. But really as you do this, can you allow your shoulders to feel quiet, rested, settled on the floor. Then the next time your knees come back to centre, stop there, let your hands adjust, let your belly soften. And just for a few moments, the last few moments, allow yourself to feel your body as it rests on the floor. The connection of your feet resting down, the connection through the hips, the spine, the shoulders, in your head. And just noting to yourself how your body feels right now. And noting to yourself how your breath feels right now. And however it feels is how it feels. There's no right way, wrong way. It just is. And as we prepare to come out of the practice, seeing if you can keep that sense of quiet or stillness or calmness as you just roll onto your side, whichever side feels comfortable for you. Just coming over onto your side, taking your time. And then just resting on your side for a few moments until when you're ready, just opening your eyes and ever so carefully coming to sit in a comfortable position and getting ready for the rest of the day.